Yes, boss. See the topic and what it is that we're talking about, right? How to avoid toxic people so you don't end up crashing out. The Punisher, shout outs to you, my G. So here's the deal, right? I did a video about avoiding toxic family members to save your mental health, but I never really talk about how you should go about doing it. I gave a little bit of stints in that last video, but I'm gonna break it down a little bit different, right? So here's the deal. When you're in a toxic dynamic, right? Family members, whatever the case may be, you might have some family members who are so damn toxic, it's like all they do is know how to be in drama or put problems onto you. You could be peaceful as hell, and they can find a way to just insert drama into your life, even when you're not looking for it. You need to understand this, right? First of all, when you're in a toxic dynamic, family-wise, don't matter. You could be in a house that's a war zone. Every day they argue. Or you could be in a household where every day they fight, like physical fight. You could be in a toxic family dynamic and you feel like you're in hell. You get what I'm saying? The best thing you need to understand is recognize the dynamic that you're in. You feel me? You have to identify the traits, dog. So example, you can't just label it, oh, my household is toxic. What did they do to be toxic? My mom just asked me to do things all the time. That's not toxic, that's your mom. You feel me? Some people don't know the difference, but toxic is something that is downright not normal, and it's very much draining as hell. It could drain the hell out of your spirit. You feel me? Here's the deal. Once you identify the trait or what the problem is, then you know how to go about it. So example, let's say in your household, your peoples are known for stealing, right? You know in that household, you cannot bring anything of real value like that, because why? They're going to end up what? Stealing it. You feel me? So once you recognize what the pattern or what the trait is that's toxic, then you can know how to start moving according. You get what I'm saying? Either you have to create a secret hiding spot or a secret safe spot where you can store your things. But you have to understand that in order to avoid a toxic dynamic, you have to first identify the problem, what's going on in your family, right? Next thing besides identifying the problem, you have to find a way to seek help the best way possible. You feel me? So let's say, and I'm going to make it super easy, bro. I'm going to try and put all of my life into this story, right? Into this topic. Let's say your peoples are toxic as hell. They probably abusive, maybe narcissistic, love drama, and you're probably young as hell. You cannot leave out of the house. This is an easy one. You want to make sure that not only you seek help, but seek help from somebody that makes sense. I'm not telling you, oh, go to your little homeboy. Yeah, my household is toxic. No, seek like real help the best way you can. So let's say you're like a teenager, right? There's got to be somebody like a local pastor or somebody that's within your vicinity that you can feel like you can trust like that. You get what I'm saying? Physical people. That's what I mean. Of course, you should be going to God, but some people going to be like, okay, I don't understand all of that. And I was just like that when I was young. Like, oh, you talking about pray to God for my problems? Yeah, I pray to him, but nothing ain't changing. You got to understand that faith without work is dead. So let's say your household is toxic. You're probably a teenager in high school or middle school. Oh my God, I got to go right back to this hellhole. How am I going to deal with it? Easy. Find some extracurricular activities, bruh. I said this before. If you're the type of person where, let's say you don't like sports, damn it, you better start falling in love with that shit. Because sports can give you a one-way ticket up out of a toxic situation. If you don't believe me, there are a lot of people who did that before. Example, look at people like DeMar DeRozan, who plays basketball. Look at people like, what's his name who plays for the Dolphins now? Jack Jones, the cornerback. These guys have something similar. They were raised in South Central LA, where it's gang infested. So in their neighborhoods, they knew for a fact, yo, I could easily get caught up into these gangs. I could easily get caught up into this. But they had a love for sports. Their love for sports allowed them to get what? Scholarships. That scholarship is a one-way ticket to get your ass up out of here and go chase a new dream. Go find something new. You get what I'm saying? So that's rule number one, bruh. And don't be like me, man. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you this if I never told you this. When I was in high school, I wasn't no 4-star letterman and none of that. I played baseball only for preseason. But what I played for preseason was good enough to get me some scholarships. I never took none of my scholarships, bro. I walked out on every single offer because I allowed my mom to manipulate me, dog. Knowing that this is something I want to get away. I want to get away from my mom. I want to get away from home. I want to get away from you. Because my mom used certain things to put it in my mind like, damn, if I leave my mom, I'm selfish. Understand this. For you to want to get out and seek help or better yourself or run away or save yourself, you have to understand you need to get away in order to save yourself. Don't be a person who stays back off of manipulation or, God, how am I going to make it in a new city or in a new state? Bruh, have faith, bruh. There's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel if you believe it'll be that way. You got to work towards this shit. You get what I'm saying? So, example, I played baseball. I had like some good offers and some shitty offers. The offers that were pretty decent that I knew I could have taken, I walked out on them because why? You're in another region. You're in Philadelphia or you're in this part of Florida or you're way over here. Nothing that I wanted. So I conformed to what I seen and accepted the manipulation that my mom put onto me and stayed even longer in the toxic dynamic. And that played a role in my life. I'm not saying I'm not good now. I am. You feel me? I'm successful in life. I may not be where I want to be, but at the same time, me choosing to endure that situation, of course, the longer you stay in toxicity, the more it's going to affect you. You get what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you avoid that stuff. Let's say you're a person where you're not sports inclined or you're not in school to go do sports. There's hella activities out here in support groups that you can join that can take your time away. Remember, time spent away from the house or away from toxicity, away from a toxic environment, it's going to do you a lot of justice, dog. Why? Because you're saving your mental health. Even when you're young and you feel like, yo, I can't get up out of the house or I can't leave or I can't do something. There's something that you can do to avoid that toxic environment. Let's say your peoples are like, yo, you cannot go outside to play. Or you cannot do this or you can't do that. It's like you have to be conformed. There's something. Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm giving you free game, dog. There's some form of chess or something that you can play that you can use against your parents. I'm not telling you to use your parents. That's not the ticket. But if you know you're in an abusive environment, your parents are toxic to you, you in a toxic household, I'm giving you little excuses that you can use, but do not lie to your parents, dog. Example, let's say you know shit, boy, I do not want to go home. Take your ass to the library. Mom, Dad, I'm going to the library. And make sure that you're there at the library, bruh. Don't be one of these people where you learn how to lie or you learn a finesse and then you use it in a negative aspect, bruh. If you know you're in a toxic dynamic or your household is sickening and stifling, or I'm going to the library. If it takes, yo, I'm here, I'll send you pictures or whatever. Go to the library. Seek knowledge, dog. That's very important. That's why I said the library. The library has a lot of books. It's very resourceful. Filled with computers, librarians, people who have knowledge that can share something with you. You going to the library, you can get lost in a world of books and that could give you the answer to what it is that you need. Being lost in the library, being lost in the books, that can expand your creativity, dog. That's what did a lot of my creativity for me. Instead of like me just relying on my own, books and venturing out allowed me to expand on my creativity. And that was part of the excuses. So I just taught you something out of my golden rule book. I used to tell my mom I'm going to the library just to avoid going home when I was in school sometimes. You feel me? Another one, right? Let's say the person that you're around or mother, father, family, friend, it don't matter. Whatever's the toxic situation, you want to make sure that you start to emotionally detach from those situations. And I'm going to explain that. Let's say a person knows, and this is very true, if people know that they can affect your emotions or stir the pot for you or rile your emotions or whatever it is, make you unsettled or uneasy, and it gives them a high, they're going to do it. You feel me? The best thing you need to learn in life is practice stoicism, which means showing no emotions, showing no none of that. You like nonchalant. So example, let's say your mom likes to do things to stick on you, or I'm going to give you an example to me, right? My mom knows that she could wrap my emotions was like wrapped around her finger. She could roller coaster me all the time. You know what I used to do when I know that my mom would do certain things as a high and I recognized it? I would play that against my mom. So example, my mom telling me, yo, I need you to stay here to help me do this and do that and the third. And my mom would double down with more manipulation to make me feel bad, like gaslight me if I told her something. So you know what I would do? I tell her, yo, I understand, but I cannot be here. My mom would double, triple, quadruple down on all of the manipulation, all the gaslighting, all the ways of roller coasting your emotions. And I know I'd feel some way, but I had to tell myself I'm doing this to what? To save myself. That's what allowed me to feel better. It's just like, let's say you're a person where you cannot tell people no. And then it's like somebody asks, yo, such and such, let me get $1 or let me get $5. You know it kills you to tell these people yes. It's killing you. You want to say no, but you're continuously hurting yourself. You need to learn to do away with that self. Get out of that feeling stage and understand this. This is a rule I taught myself. In the game of being an empath or wanting better for yourself, and people like to lean on you for shit, practice telling people no. Practice breaking people's heart. You want to know why? In that situation, one person is going to walk away successful and one person is going to walk away with a broken heart. Why would you want to keep doing that to yourself? Fuck out of here. Nah, I can't do it. Oh, but you know I don't care, bro. What do you expect from me? I can't do it. What do you want me to tell you? I'll probably give you a little smile. What do you want me to tell you? I can't do it. You feel me? When you break people's heart, you restore yourself, my nigga. And if a person got a problem with it, then let them see what they want to do about it. You feel me? Because why? That's not your issue to deal with. Sometimes in life, people like to get your emotions and roller coaster the hell out of it just so they can get a reaction out of you. And sometimes when people know that they have like a special latch on you or you have a love for them, that's where they'll abuse that shit and they'll roller coaster your emotions to get a reaction out of you even deeper or get you to conform to them even more. Excuse me. You feel me? So that's another thing you have to be aware of, right? Most importantly, the icing on the cake. You need to have an exit strategy, dog. Don't be the type of person where you're sitting down in the abuse and the hellhole and the toxicity and you're like, man, I wish upon a star one day I'm gonna get up out of here. Nigga, making the exit plan. Nigga, let me tell you something. Having an exit plan, this may sound kind of crazy. This shit is fun as hell, dog. Picture you got a plan to escape. Mind you, I told people, bro, I escaped my mom. I escaped my mom. When I said I escaped, I felt like Indiana Jones on like one of them little temple runs. I escaped and you never see me. I was gone with the wind. You can never find me again. Because why? You're in a prison. You're being confined. Are you going to stay in a hellhole where you're not being appreciated? You're being like tolerated. You're not even being respected. Sometimes you got to make a way out of there. Even if it means you got to break free, just shoom out the door like that. You feel me? Because sometimes people use whatever it is to roller coaster you. Emotionally manipulate you, gaslight you, make you feel bad about yourself. Remember the rule I said. One person's going to walk away happy and satisfied. The other person's going to walk away depressed and pissed off. Don't be the person that's walking away pissed off and depressed, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the person where you don't let yourself down. You want to be the person who saves yourself. Understand this. This is coming from somebody who was raised in the church. Me hearing all the time, oh, God's coming back to save us. I'm not saying he's not. But you need to understand this. Certain words people use, they use it as a way to manipulate you and keep you in check, dog. God's coming back. Oh, God, come and save me. God came and saved you last year, the year before that, or 5 years before that? No, what does that mean? Faith without work is what? Dead. You need to be the person who has faith in yourself that you gonna make some shit shake. You feel me? And get up out of there. That's the thing about it. You cannot be a person who's complacent and sitting down like, maybe one day things will change, or maybe one day it won't. Maybe one day your ass is going to wake up and you're not the same 20-something years old, 30, 40. You probably 50, 60. All of your youth got taken away from you. And this is something you need to understand. Being in a toxic dynamic and being around toxic people, they would love to rob you of your youth, dog. Because why? Somebody robbed them of their youth. There are people out here, they plot on seeing if I could rob you of your time and your youth and your essence. Because why? Somebody did it to me. It's like a natural high. It's like a drug. I could take yours, then guess what? I feel restored on the inside. You get what I'm saying? With that being said, remember this. Words can help you. They can hurt you. But here on my channel, I just want to uplift you because everybody's a champion. Nobody's a loser, man. 444 the world. Just remember this in life, dog. If you're in a toxic dynamic, recognize what you're in. Don't plan on just staying there forever. Have some form of an exit plan. Set boundaries with people. Recognize the type of situation that you're involved in. My family is this. They like to argue. They're very toxic. You have to move accordingly, dog. When you move accordingly, you kind of save yourself from the L's, the unnecessary L's and the unnecessary heartbreaks. That's why it's called moving accordingly. You're moving according to the situation that's presented to you, so you don't fall back in the same predicament. You feel me? 444 the world, man. Peace.